Hi everyone, this is Joe with Car Care Team. I'm going to replace the fuel pump on this 2002 Chevy Astro. Some of the symptoms of a failing fuel pump can include no start condition, poor acceleration, poor performance uphill, and poor fuel economy. The fuel pump pressurizes fuel from the fuel tank to be supplied to the fuel injectors, which spray into the combustion chamber in order for the engine to run. If you don't have enough fuel pressure, the fuel injectors won't fire properly, and most likely the engine won't start. This fuel pump is not supplying pressure to the fuel rail, and so we're going to replace it. The fuel pump is located inside the fuel tank, and the fuel tank is underneath the vehicle. So here's our fuel tank underneath the vehicle, and it's got two mounting points here, and the other one is right there. So we're going to remove those two straps and drop the tank. I'm going to get rid of all these spider webs and spiders, leaves. Sometimes you want to tap on this thing to get whatever's in there to climb out. We're going to get underneath the vehicle, so chock both wheels. I've got the jack supporting the differential, and I've put two jack stands on the frame at the leaf spring mounts. And so I've got a good height from the body in order for me to get the fuel tank out. I've got a flat jack that I'm going to use to support the fuel tank. You can use any jack, it's just harder to maneuver, and the less fuel you have in the tank, the easier it is to maneuver it, especially putting it back in. All right, so I'm going to undo the first strap bolt here. And then I've got one more here. We can see from here the tank is supported. I can easily maneuver the strap. We've got another strut bolt on this side to get to. I'm going to remove this fuel line now that we got the tank a little bit mobile. We've got to undo this connector. It's got a security mechanism here. Might be easier to take it off from here. I'm going to continue to drop the tank down and see what binds us. I got a quick disconnect here. Got to remove this fuel line. Might be easier to take the whole thing off. These connectors are old and brittle. I don't want to break them by disconnecting them, reconnecting them. I'm just going to take the whole thing off. This will go with the tank. This will stay with the car. I don't see anything holding us in the front. And there's nothing holding us in the rear. I just got to get to those fuel lines. We got a good center of gravity here. Our tank is about half full. It's almost balanced. The fuel keeps slushing inside. That's what makes it jump around. Once the fuel levels out, it'll stay still. It's always easier to work on these things when there's no fuel inside. So what I've got to do now is I've got to disconnect the two fuel lines that are sitting at the top of on top of the fuel tank. So I've got to maneuver the tank around. In order to get to that, I'm going to drop it all the way down. Now I'm going to maneuver out the fuel tank. And there's our fuel tank. That's the fuel pump. So we've got the new fuel pump here. We're going to compare to the old fuel pump, make sure that our connectors and our fittings are all the same. Once we've ensured it's the same, we can remove this one and reinstall the new one. In order to remove the fuel pump, we've got to remove this retaining ring, which just spins in a circle. I'm going to undo this fuel line. So I've got a brass punch here. So this is our fuel pump. And this is the fuel pump sending unit. As the fuel level goes up, this one indicates how much fuel is in the tank. Drain all the fuel out of it. Look for any washers you guys might have or O-rings like this one. You don't want a double O-ring when you put your new fuel pump in, because then it'll leak for sure. Before I reinstall the new fuel pump, I'm going to drain all the fuel out because that's going to make it easier to put this tank back in. So I've got a little pump here that's drawing out all the fuel out of the tank. This is going to make it easier for us to reinstall the tank after. We're going to be installing a new O-ring. We're going to reinstall our fuel pump. I'm going to install the fuel pump retaining ring. This fuel pump has a locating notch on it, and so we are going to line that up with this opening here. Okay, so we're going to spin it to make sure that it's lined up, and now we know that that's the right location for it. Spin it, make sure it lines up with your notch. That's nice and secure. And we can reconnect our wiring. So we've got to transfer the internals over from the old fuel pump. The quick connects have to be transferred over. And we're ready to reinstall the fuel tank back in the car. It's a lot lighter without the fuel in it. So you got to pull these off and install them onto the lines. So I'm going to line up the fuel filler neck. Found our center of gravity. And let's go up. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect the fuel lines in the back. And let's reconnect the fuel pump. Reinsert the security tab. Make sure it's going up freely, not binding anywhere. Just keep shaking it. We've got to route our fuel fill over these cables. Fuel filler neck's lined up. Let's see if this is going to line up in here. That's okay. Be very careful with these lines as they are very, very fragile because of the age. So I'm going to make sure my straps are going in the right locations. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm going to get the tank as high up as I can. All right, I'm going to start with the forward strap first. All right, let's put on the other strap for the rear. All right, so I've got these threaded more than halfway. And I'll start with this one. All right, and then the last one here. So this is the opportunity to look from this side to make sure that everything's in place, nothing is binded. The tank is sitting flush and where it's supposed to be. All the straps line up and all the bolts go into their locations with no problems. Once you've started all your bolts, you can tighten this one down. Just to make sure. Now we've got the strap in the right place. Final bolt. Double check it. And we'll tighten down our filler neck tube. And the outer one. Just got to verify that all the wires are ran properly, nothing is obstructing. We just have to double check, make sure that everything's in the right place. The straps, the wires, the hoses, the lines. Needs gas. Car drives great. I hope you guys find this video useful. Thanks for watching.